Good morning. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK. I've been a demonstrator now for 8+ years, and if it's your first time joining us, then welcome. If you are somebody that joins us regularly, then you are also very, very welcome. Do pop on, do leave us a comment, do let us know where you're joining from. And whether you're joining us live or whether you're joining us on catch up, it's lovely to see who's here with us. And do make sure, whether you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you are, make sure that you follow and subscribe and all of those things, so we can make sure that you can join us next time we go live. But let's bring in my other camera. And this is me, www.Love-a-Duckie.co.uk. Morning, Jackie. And that's my website. That's where, if you head over there, you will find lots of information about all my classes and things that are upcoming, whether those are in person or whether those are through the post, or however they happen. There's lots of classes and events scheduled there that it would be lovely for you to join in with, whether, say, that's through the post, or whether, if you're living somewhere locally to me here in Northamptonshire in the UK, whether you want to come and join me in person. It would be lovely to have you along for one of those classes to do some creating with you. And that is indeed what we're going to be doing this morning. We're going to do a bit of creating, and you can find me on all the other social media channels as well, under Love-a-Duckie. So whether you're looking on Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, what have I missed? Instagram, you'll find me there under Love-a-Duckie. So do go and hunt those out. And equally, like, follow, schedule, share, all of those things. It all does really help. Now, I have already publicly said that I'm going to be playing with some daffodils today. And this is the Daffodil Daydream bundle. Let me just find my catalogue, and let's find the Daffodil Daydream bundle, because it's nice to have a look and see what Stampin' Up has created with them. The nice thing about the bundles in the new catalogue is that they are listed alphabetically, and indeed after C comes D. So there's a little sample that we've got listed with the bundle at the back. So white, completely in white, those daffodils, with a nice blue background and some die cut paper pieces for the leaves and things just here. So I'm putting my finger in there. The camera is struggling to pick that up. So that's that one. But let's head over to page 37, where we will find the stamp set, the dies. Morning, Angie, or evening, Angie, evening, Megan. And we'll find the other samples that Stampin' Up have created with these stamps and dies. So do make sure that you check out your catalogue, not just for the things that you can buy, but also for the inspiration that's in it. There's some really pretty cards there being made with these stamps and dies. So what have we got in the bundle? I'm just going to grab, if I can find it, my celebration brochure, because we'll want that in a moment. So you get a stamp set, and this stamp set has these two big stamps in it. So two big stamped images, outline images, that you can then colour how you wish. You've got one with a little sort of bunch of daffodils almost, and this is a single daffodil on its own with its leaves and things. You've got this really, really lovely swirly pattern. Let me do that. That will make that much clearer, because then you won't get the reflection on it. You get this really, really lovely swirly pattern border that's coming up here. It's going to be useful for lots of things. You've got a little butterfly in here, little individual butterfly. You've got quite a long splattery stamp. I don't know whether you can pick that up, but there's all those dotty splatter across the top there. And then there's a couple of sentiments in it. One is Happy Mother's Day. and one is Easter blessings. Obviously, you know, you can bring in sentiments from all sorts of other sets. So they could be happy birthdays, they could be get well soons, they could possibly be sympathy cards, they could just be thinking of you cards, all sorts of reasons why you might want to send a really nice daffodil card. Let's just pop that back in there for now so that we don't lose it. So, and alongside the stamps, we have this humongous set of dies. Now, you've got dies in here that are going to cut out your 2 stamped daffodils images and your little butterfly image. And then you've got a whole host of dies in there that are going to enable you to create some gorgeous 3D sort of layered up daffodils, similar to the ones that we can see here in the catalogue. Now, I'm going to be doing daffodils both today and on Friday. So my plan is to concentrate mainly on the stamps today, because I think otherwise they're in danger of being sort of overlooked because of these gorgeous dies that you can build up these beautiful daffodils with. So we're going to be playing with the dies and making up our layered daffodils and things mainly on Friday. We're going to be perhaps using the dies that cut out the stamped images today. We may use those, but we're going to concentrate on the gorgeousness of this stamp set this morning. Now, the other thing that I have grabbed, as I said, is my celebration brochure, because alongside the stamp set and the dies, if you go to your celebration brochure, you will find some daffodil afternoon 12 by 12 DSP, which obviously coordinates beautifully with the stamps and dies from the Daffodil Daydream bundle. And the Daffodil Daydream bundle, bearing in mind that's a really big die set, the stamp and die set for that is £51.25. So that means that you will automatically be able to choose a free celebration item. So it could be, if you're buying the stamps and the dies, the free item that you would like to get your hands on is likely to be the paper. Now, these are the papers, these are cut down into 6 by 6 squares. So obviously you're going to get a 12 by 12. So you've got, let me turn that one over. So you've got sort of these beautiful black backgrounds, that one is sort of like a daffodil print on that one. You've got a host of daffodils there, very Wordsworthy. This one has got no daffodils on it at all. This is more sort of like little primulas almost, but some pretty little sort of spring flowers. You've got some more daffodils there, sort of the white daffodil with sort of slightly pink tips to their trumpets, really beautiful. And then you've got this, it's very sort of 70s, this paper, isn't it? Showing my age. But you've got all of these flowers on this background. You've got the sort of daisy type flowers and the daffodils, anemones. So really, really pretty paper. And then if we turn these over, you get some really nice background. You've got a check there. This one is a dot. These are lots of little green hearts. That's rather sweet. You've got a nice, not quite diamondy, almost sort of petal-shaped pattern going on in the background. That's rather nice. You've got this black and white with these little crosses on. And you've got a pretty sort of stripe in those sort of pinks just there. So really beautiful papers. So all in all, quite a nice little bundle of things to play with. So let's do just that. Let's have a play. Oh, I've splashed water on my card. That's not very clever. Luckily, it's not card I'm using to create a card front, but it is card I'm using to blend my inks. So that's not very useful, it's being wet. Never mind. So what I thought we'd do first, I've just taken a scrap piece of Calypso coral card, so it isn't anything particularly fancy. And I've just taken a piece of card and I have die cut a shape out of the centre. Not that shape, it's nearly that shape, but that's the smaller one. So this shape is what I have die cut from the centre, and these are all from the hippo dies. These hippo dies are so useful. So this is the largest of this shape die from the hippo dies, and I have cut that from a piece of scrap card. Now, it really didn't matter what colour this card was. I just sort of grabbed a bit out of my scrap pile. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some reverse masking. So you could use this in two ways. We could put this in the centre of our card and we could ink blend around it, and that would leave, we'd have colour around the edge and a white gap in the middle. So that's one thing that you can do. We're going to do some reverse masking. I'm going to pop that on there like that. We are actually going to ink blend into the gap. So what I think I might do, I was about to put my Stamparatus away, and then I thought, actually, that may come in rather useful. So rather than put it away, I will take that sponge layer out, leave my paper layer in. I've layered up my mask piece onto a piece of basic white card. Then I thought it would be quite useful to have that held down with those magnets. And then I'm going to take some balmy blue ink and a blending brush. I did give my blending brushes a bit of a wash over Christmas. Everything had a bit of a wash. All my stamping scrubs and my blending brushes and all sorts of things had a bit of a wash and brush up. So I'm just going to take my blending brush, this balmy blue ink, and add some colour. To the inside this mask, so where this shape has been cut out, and obviously you can dig about in your dies. You could have circles, you could have rectangles, you could have tag shapes. It can be whatever shape you would like it to be. Want to make sure we have it into the right into the corners so that it, when we take it off, it really picks up that shape. And as always with the ink blending, the more that you, it's going to get darker the more you add, and it blends easier the more that you add as well. Once you're blending ink on top of ink. Now actually this mask is exactly the same size as the bit of card underneath, so we're not having to worry about the ink going around the edges, but you could deliberately make the ink go around the edges if you wanted to, just by cutting your mask slightly smaller. Right, I think that is probably about right. Now before I remove this mask, actually before I put that away, I'm actually going to bring in some of the other elements in this stamp set. So let's have this rather lovely border piece. And let's have some splatters. I don't want these to be too dark. So I'm going to stamp off before I add these in. Let's put in some splatters. Rocked that top one a little bit just by having the magnet there. Right, let's remove these magnets and let's see what's happened underneath. Shall we have a drum roll? Okay, so now we have a rather nice army blue panel with some of that patterning in, some splatters, and some of that border piece. I'm going to put that to one side for a minute. And then I'm going to bring in, it's not actually what I want to bring in. Bear with me one moment. Oh, no, looking in the wrong place. I just want some shimmery white, I think. Let's bring in a bit of shimmery white cardstock here. Let's just have a look at how wide, because I'm going to die cut this. So we don't need to use any more than we need to use. I'm going to go about 7.5 centimetres. That will fit on there beautifully. Put that bit of shimmery white away. Let's find ourselves a block. Let's go with an E block. That will work. And I'm actually going to take the saddle brown stays on for this. Didn't necessarily want black, but we would go brown. So let's ink that all up. Obviously it's the first time this stamp has been used. Bring it over here. It's a fairly big stamp, so let's give that a good press down. Beautiful. So there we have a nice brown outline image that we're going to watercolour. One thing I didn't check actually is if I've got water in my pen and in my brushes. Yes, I have. So I have picked out some colours. I've got some old olive, got some pumpkin pie. I've obviously got some Daffodil Delight. I did pick up a bit of Mango Melody as well, just in case we need that. The other thing I was going to do actually is stamp a butterfly. So let's do that as well. I'd actually stamp 2 for good measure. We might do 2. So again, I'm going to do this in Saddle Brown. Let's put one there and one there, because we just need them somewhere that we're going to be able to die cut them. Old olive, let's do that first. Let's paint in these leaves and stems with our old olive ink. And the smallest of the brushes. Down here. A few more stems coming up here. I don't know whether you saw on my Instagram and Facebook pages yesterday, I'd added a picture of all the shoots that are coming up in the garden. All the bulbs that are peeking through. So first here, it's quite dreary actually today, it's wet and dreary rather than cold necessarily, but yeah, it's nice to see those signs of spring. I know elsewhere in the world. Just going to add some green in there, and I'll add some yellow. That's the bud that's coming out there. Elsewhere in the world, you're sort of summertime thinking about autumn rather than winter thinking about spring. There we go. I'm going to grab a stamping scrub and give that brush a bit of a wipe so that we've got rid of the green. Let's come in with might actually come in with some Mango Melody first. And then add in a bit of pumpkin pie as well. I'm not actually going to worry too much about cleaning my brush in between, as I'm going to blend that in a bit. A bit of pumpkin pie on those tips, so the slightly darker orangey colour. Whereas Mango Melody is a little bit between the two, a little bit yellow, orangey yellow. And then we'll come in actually take some Mango Melody and just wear these lines are, add some in. And then let's come in with some Daffodil Delight. Of course, you get daffodils and narcissi in lots of shades of yellows and whites and oranges. Lots of combinations. And then this one here. There we go. Then the decision about what colour we're going to do our butterflies. I might come back in with some balmy blue on the edges. Just a slightly stronger colour than the background will be because that's been blended with blending brushes. Add in a little morsel of green. Let's come in with some Mango Melody. Those are rather pretty. I'm not sure what sort of butterfly they are. Obviously ones we've just created. Lids on those just for a minute. Right, now I'm going to find the die that's going to cut, or the dies that's going to cut these out. So we need this large die just here, and then we need this butterfly die just there. There is a really sort of tiny little butterfly body piece in there, which is one that we don't want to lose, need to keep an eye on. Right, let's cut these out. So lining up all these little leaves and things in there, I'm going to take a little bit of washi tape here. And just anchor that down, and then we have our little butterflies just there. So we've got 2 of those, so let me go and cut those out. There's one butterfly and our daffodil piece. And I've just spotted on that daffodil piece as I was running it through that I'd forgotten to add a bit of yellow to that bud. And I'll go back in and do that once I've cut this second butterfly. Just picked up the mango melody there, just to add in that bud that I've forgotten. Right, let's bring this back in. So we have our background. We have our daffodils that are going to come over the top. And we have a couple of butterflies, rather pretty. Actually just, this is, 14.4 by 10. I'm going to just actually it is 13.9. I've made it 13.9 by 10 rather than 13.9 by 9.5. That's better. And I think we'll have 14.4 by 10 balmy blue mat behind there. Actually have that one on our butterfly, and then we'll make a card base. new folder. And then we'll just need to add in some sort of sentiment on there. Might go with Easter blessings. I think we'll go balmy blue with that as well. Hi Jane. We're playing with daffodils. It's probably very much the wrong time of the year for daffodils for you, isn't it? I think I'm going to stick that down flat. And then the little butterflies we'll put up on some. I think my mini dimensional ones are sort of nearly all round to the edges. Now, there's a couple of little pads on there. So let's just put a little mini dimensional in the centre of there. And we'll have that coming up in that corner. And then we'll have this one flying over those stems. Let's add some glue to the back of that. And add it onto our basic white card base. Now I think I'm just going to come in with some of these polished dots. Something about it, because it's sort of quite clean and simple-ish. I don't want to bring in anything that's too sparkly or too in your face. So let's just add in some of those polished dots, which will just give a bit of something without detracting from the pretty. That one says Easter blessings, but yes, it would make a very good sympathy card. Get well soon. Yeah, any of those sorts of things. Then the other one in the thing says Happy Mother's Day, but yeah, so this one is Easter blessings, Happy Mother's Day, Happy Birthday, obviously get well soon. There are lots and lots of occasions for which that card would be quite nice. So there we go, there's one. And as I said at the beginning, Jane, for anybody that's joining us a bit later, we're going to be playing with the bundle this week. I'm concentrating on the stamps today, and we'll come back in and play with the dies a bit more on Friday. So there we are, that's one card. let's have a little look at another one. And I think for the other one, we'll perhaps hopefully bring in some of those papers as well. And I think we need to play with the other stamp. So we need to bring out this stamp that's just a single butterfly, single daffodil, rather than a bunch of daffodils. I'm just going to stick those on the back there for now. Another thing that I did grab was I have grabbed the basic border dies. I do love these dies. I thought we'd make up a border with the papers. What safe place have I put those in? And I'm thinking something with the black, and I think possibly this yellow that's got these, it's almost like diamondy petally shapes on there. I think those are the two I want to use. This way, I think. Right, both of these pieces of paper are actually cut to 6 by 6. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my yellow and decide where I want that to go. Let's take off that bit of tape for now. Line it up on my grid paper, so it may not be, I think my grid paper's gone a bit skewy, so it may look a bit wonky. Let's come in and going to line it up so the bottom of the die on each side is in line with one of the lines on my grid paper. So let's cut that one first. So that's still about right, yes. Just run that through the machine. Things on the floor. So there we have sort of scalloped border with the stitching around the edge. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my border again. I'm going to lay that piece of paper on there. Again, I'll line it up with my grid paper, because what I want to do is have a layer of the black peeking out. So how much do I want? Do I want it 1 square or do I want it 2 squares? Decisions, decisions. I think I might go 2 squares, just because that will then give us a bit more of that crosses. We get that nice sort of line of crosses coming down the middle there. So we can take that piece away now. run that piece through. And we've got that layered look. Now we need to decide whether we want it to go that way or that way. I think I'm going to have it that way because I think I'm going to have some daffodils sort of poking up out of the back of it. So let me take a piece of basic white card and I'll just take a pencil, just run along the edge of there with my pencil. It doesn't have to be exact, but at least then I can see where that paper line is going to come. And then I've got my daffodils. I'm going to bring over the top. Going to come in with Old Olive, I think. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Let's try that again. Once more with feeling. Wasn't looking where I was going properly. Right, actually, I'm going to layer those two together. I'm going to trim a little bit off the bottom. I'm going to make it slightly shorter. Just take a centimetre off the bottom. Layer them together and then they'll maintain that. Let's come in with my pencil again and just roughly make a bobbly line. Let's try that once more with feeling, shall we? Let's start in the middle this time. Actually bring in some crushed curry this time because I think that paper is more crushed curry-esque. There is such a thing. I'm going to bring in some crushed curry splatters in the background there. And then I think out in my watercolour pencils. There's a crushed curry one that always looks brown, but it's not. Let's have a little bit of pumpkin pie. Let's bring in one of the old olive ones. Just give that a little bit of a sharpen. So let's bring in some pumpkin pie around the outside. So with the watercolour pencils. And then let's bring in some of that crushed curry colour. Also bring in a bit of Daffodil Delight. And then let's bring in a blender pen and blend that through. And we'll add in some green on the leaves. Don't need to worry too much down below our pencil line because that's not going to show anyway. There's one. Well, I've got the green in my hand, I might as well carry on. Two. There's our green. Let's come back in with these other two. Pumpkin pie. Crushed curry. And Daffodil Delight. Obviously when we use our blender pen, that green will also blend in a little bit as well because we used old olive to stamp with. A bit of Daffodil Delight. Let's grab that blender pen. Just blend those colours out. Last but not least, come in with a little bit more pumpkin pie on that one. Okay, there's our three daffodils. And there's our card base. Again, for some reason, I cut that to 13.9 by 10. Let's just cut that down to 10.5. Going to stick these layers on. This is rather pretty paper as well, with this sort of daffodil print in the background. Look at that one. How pretty is that? Well, we could have gone the other way around and had daffodils, flowers on the bottom, and because I've trimmed this a little bit, we're going to need to trim it all the way around. Let's do this side. And let's trim that off a bit on that bottom. You. Just going to cut this black mat, because I think that will make that pop in the background there. And then actually there's the back folder gone just there. Pretty. Bring in some black and white twine and I'm wondering if I've got a something like wishing you all the best. So this is from the, yeah, that would be quite nice, from the Garden Wishes set. That one just says wishing you all the best. I think we'll have a little bit of white card for that. And we'll stamp it in black. Let's take our Easter blessings off of the scissors. I think we'll have a bit of black card behind that as well. So we'll add some glue to back there and forever cover up our daffodils that went a bit overlapped. Let's bring in our black twine. I think we need a bit more yet. I think we've gone one extreme to the other now. Let's take that back a little bit. Right, bring this round and tie this off in a bow here somewhere. We can always wiggle it round further in a little while if we need to. And let's raise this up on some dimensionals. Stick that on our card front. So again, this would be another one that would make a good, if there is such a, that's the right word, sympathy card. What I might do with this one is actually bring in some of the new brushed brass butterflies. Let's just add in a couple of those. Another little one. So they're rather sweet, the little brushed brass butterflies. So let's dig about and find our other card. So today we have been playing, concentrating mainly on the stamp set, the Daffodil Daydream stamp set that is part of the Daffodil Daydream bundle. There is also this huge collection of dies. Some of those are missing because we've been using them. We've been using the dies that cut out these images here, the big daffodil and the butterfly. So a gorgeous, gorgeous bundle, and we've added into that some of the papers from the fabulous celebration collection that coordinates beautifully with this bundle. And if you buy the bundle, you qualify for the papers for free. So buy the stamps and dies, get that pack of 12 by 12 papers for free while celebration lasts. So there's a couple of stamped daffodil cards, and as I've said, we'll be back on Friday and we'll be having a look at all of those gorgeous dies that you get in this set. So I hope you've enjoyed those. I've certainly enjoyed playing with those stamps. They are beautiful. Yeah, so that was good fun, and we will be back on Friday, if not sooner. So have a fabulous, fabulous week, and look after yourselves, and I'll see you all then.